everybody, welcome back. This video is a little bit different from the previous ones. This one isn't so much of a circuit where we run you through a workout. In this one, we're going to be going over how to jump, pretty much. Actually, we have another video where we teach you how to jump, but this one is more focused on the jumping itself, trying to get a little more performance, a little more power. So it's not going to be run like the other videos are run, where you go for the 10 straight minutes and you do lots of reps. This one, we're going to have 4 exercises. There's going to be plenty of rest between them. You rest as much as you need, and there's only going to be 6 reps per exercise. So we've got 4 exercises. A box jump, which is either going to be for height or based on the equipment you have, it's going to be how you land in the jump. A depth drop, run through what that is. Depth jump, run through what that is as well. And then a broad jump. So for each of these ones, I'm going to go through a little bit of technique, and then we're going to demonstrate as well. All right. Right, so this is number 1. So number 1, we've named it box jump, but it really is, if you have the equipment, a vertical jump, right? So there are 2 different versions of this based on the equipment you're going to have at home. You want something sturdy to jump on. So I've picked something that's roughly the height of, say, a bed, a ledge, a gym box, something like that. You want it to be something sturdy if you don't have something high to jump up onto. Now for a box jump, for a vertical jump, it does require a certain level of flexibility and mobility. If you can do this, that's amazing. The higher you can pull your knees up when you jump, the higher you'll actually be able to get. So a lot of people get scared of jumps and things as well. They don't think that they can. Let me show you, it's magic, if everyone's ready for this. If you can do this, then you can jump that high. Because without jumping, if I just pull my knees up really quick, I can land on the box. So with a little bit of a jump, and then you pull your knees up that high, you can get up onto the box, right? So work low, work your way up a little bit, build your confidence up for this if it's your first time trying it. It's a lot easier than it seems, all right? So for the vertical jump, starting with something relatively low, if you're not jumping high, we're just gonna stick the landing, and that's the main thing we're gonna focus on for this one, okay? So you wanna try and jump straight up, not going too far forward, something in front of you, try to land roughly in the middle of it, okay? And then when you land on the box, you're gonna pull your knees up, and you're gonna land pretty much in a parallel squat position and stick that landing hard, okay? So you're gonna jump quickly, pull the knees, and almost stomp that box really hard. You're trying to really stick that landing, okay? 2, 3. Now notice I'm not getting a lot of movement. I'm not trying to really wind up for this one. Just a really quick movement, nice and explosive. Little swing of the arms, and stick that landing. And one more makes 6. All right, we are just working in 6s because we want to have a lot of rest. So if that's 1 round, now we would go into our 2nd exercise, our 3rd exercise, and our 4th exercise with lots of rest in between. These are supposed to be maximal, so you want to get the most out of it. So the rest is crucial for this one. All right, but what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the change in techniques. If you've got some equipment to be able to jump a bit higher, it does change slightly. So we're going to go over to this one now. Now this box being a bit higher, it's not your typical bed height or gym box height. It is a bit higher again. You do have to pull your knees up quite a bit more. So it's not as simple as pulling up and stomping down into that box. You've got to pull your knees a little bit higher again. So for that, it's the same thing. Nice, quick, and explosive jump. And then you really are pulling your knees up as high as you can. All right, still trying to stick that landing if you can. The higher you get, the harder that gets, because you're not going to be landing as comfortably. And I'll show you that one as well. But it's the same thing, mainly just focusing on pulling your knees up when you leave the floor. All right, and that gets harder when you go higher and higher. So if we're kind of try and make this one a bit harder again, and we're going to work on our vertical jump height, based on what you've got. If there's a park near you that has a high fence, or you've got some sets of steps or something like that to work with, then it becomes a lot harder. Now I'm giving you guys, this is quite high, I'm giving you guys more of an example of how to work the technique so that you can work at a height that you're comfortable with. Now these are nice soft boxes, so if I fall, they don't hurt me. So work your way up to it. Don't just go, she'll be right. I've lost a lot of skin from my shins over the years. So work your way up to it. Really take your time getting your height up. Okay, but now that knees going up is really important because I can't just step off onto that anymore. I can only jump so high. So getting my legs up is actually going to give me a little more, it gives you a little bit of lift, but it gives you the clearance to get over the box. Because if I can only jump this high, but I'm pulling my feet up even higher, it gives me that advantage. Same thing, quick explosive jump, and pulling your knees up as high as you can. Same thing, only working in sets of 6. Now these have to be maximal, explosive jumps. You can't do this at 50% or 60%. They have to be 100%. Really explosive jumps. And notice as I'm getting higher, I'm landing lower in my squat. Pulling my knees up into a full squat position. One more makes 6. All right, and that's the first one, box jump. Enjoy.
Ooh. Alrighty guys, now that you've done vertical jumps, we're going to be moving into depth drops, alright? So a depth drop is not that much of a jump. It's more about absorbing the impact and sticking a good landing position, okay? A lot of people don't have enough strength through their quads in particular, or through their joints, to drop from a high position and land without going into knee valgus where the knees buckle in, alright? And just like when we squat, when we deadlift, whenever we're doing lower body exercise, jumping, landing, we never want to have our knees buckling in, okay? It's a weak position to be in, you're more likely to injure yourself as well, okay? So a depth drop is really great for developing that, developing your ability to absorb forces in the landing and stick the landing, okay? So basically all we're doing is we're going to step up, catch ourselves at basically a right angle at the knees and hips. Arms can go out to create a good position, and we're going to make sure our knees do not buckle in, okay? Really simple, guys. We're here, step off, land, knees are out, okay? 6 reps as well. Here, step off, land. 2, we're hitting 6 reps, then we get a break. 3 more here. 4, this one might be great for some of the more athletic populations watching this, all right? If you want to work on that ability to explode, you need to have stability at the bottom. 5, one more. 6. Now, another thing I want you guys to focus on when you're doing a depth jump is not a depth drop, is not picking a box that's too high for you, all right? You will get a lot of impact around the knees and ankles. So start low, build your way up. Basically, a good test to see if you can go up is if when you land, you're not forcing into a low position, you're able to actually stop yourself strong. You also want to make sure the knees aren't aching. So if your knees and ankles are aching, take the height down. If you're not landing really rock solid, take the height down. And if you're going into knee valgus, take the height down. Otherwise, pick a spot, be explosive, and stick that landing. Awesome.
Okay, number 3. This one is a depth jump, not to be confused with a depth drop. So a depth jump is really important if you want to teach your body how to build up a lot of explosive power. You don't want to move too slowly when you're trying to jump really, really far. Your tendons are incredible at building up and utilizing a lot of energy very quickly. So that's what we're doing here. Now for this one, you're only going to drop off of a box that you can comfortably do a depth drop from. So in that last exercise, depth drop, without letting your knees cave in. So you want to hit a position, a height that you can drop off and really stick your landing with the depth drop. And then when you do the depth jump, it's roughly the same height, okay? So what we're going to do is you're going to drop off of the box, step off, hit the ground, and the second you hit the ground, jump as far forward as you can. So for this one, you do need quite a little bit of space, right? So we've set up, it's about 2 to 3 meters. You do get quite a bit out of it. Start small if you're not confident with it, and then work your way up, okay? So, depth drop. From here, you're gonna step off of the box, and the second my feet hit the ground, I'm gonna jump as far forward as I can. 1. Okay? As soon as you hit the ground, there's no squat, there's no bending and bracing and taking some of the weight first. The second you hit the ground, you keep your body tense and as strong as you can. Don't let your body buckle under the pressure. The second you hit the ground, you're going to jump as far as you can. Gently step off and as hard as you can. You need a lot of tension through your core for this one. Tense your abs. Brace as much as you can. Much like when you're squatting and deadlifting, you do need a lot of tension for this one. 3. 4. This one's pretty hard on your body as well, so make sure you take your time with this one. So even that one there was a bit slow. I did recoil a bit when I hit the ground. It's got to be as rigid and explosive as you can get it the second you hit the ground. 2 more. 1 more to finish. All right, and that one is depth jump. Try it out.
Alrighty guys, we're back to our 4th and final jump now. It's a broad jump, okay? So a broad jump, great exercise, really repeatable as well, because you can just mark a line on the floor and the grass and the sand wherever you're doing it from, and mark your end point as well. So they use this one a lot. They use this one in the NFL Combine as well. So I mean, it's a really good indicator of some explosive power, being able to move horizontally as opposed to just vertically, okay? Basically, you're gonna wanna have feet square and about shoulder width, all right? So that good power generation stance, okay? Also, when we start, there's a couple ways we can do it. But first, to make sure that we're actually utilizing hip drive and leg drive, we want to push the hips back, arms are back, so that when we launch our arms forward, we are using our hip drive and our leg drive to get as far forward as we can. We can then move into a swinging jump, but just to start, we're going to have arms back, chest forward, hips back, and explode and drive, okay? So we're here. Back, arms back, hips back, chest forward, big drive, and stick the landing. Nice, all right? So that's a great entry-level way to do a broad jump, guys, all right? Feet shoulder width, arms are back, we're leaning forward, the weight's forward, we're jumping and exploding, sticking the landing if we can, okay? That's 2. If you want to try to get a bit more power generation in, we can go into that movement, like a counter movement, okay? From here. Arms are up, we swing back as we hinge, and then we're going to launch ourselves forward. A little bit further, still looking to stick that landing, almost at that 3 meter mark, all right? We're marking this off here. Two more. 3. Oh, sorry, 1 more. Just shy of 3 meters, and that's 6. Guys, there are 4 jumps. We can rotate through. If you're looking at power, we'd probably recommend only doing 2, 3, maybe 4 reps, because you really don't want to work on power when you're fatigued. If you're doing it for an overall workout, to get the lungs working, 6 to 8 reps is fine as well, all right? There you have 4 jumps, a few variations, have at it, post up your videos, tag us, let's have a bit of a competition to see how high and how far we can jump. Awesome.